Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. In today's video, we're continuing the listed property we're doing over in Kent, and we're going to start running the first fix copper pipe work through the first floor joists. Okay, so the builder's already made a good start in lifting the floor up for us, and they've left us these walkways for us to work on. So the entirety of the pipework we're going to be installing is going to be in copper. So the plan is to get it all notched through where possible, and we're going to be carrying on everything in press fit because it's a listed building. Using press fit in joist spaces can be a little bit more difficult, so we need to pre-plan our routes. So we've got hot return, balanced cold, central heating flow and return for upstairs, and central heating flow and return for downstairs. And from those main pipes that are running all the way throughout the first floor, we're going to be branching off, teeing off to all our bathrooms and all our radiator positions. Okay, so these are our pipes that are feeding from our plant room that you may have seen in the previous video, and we've already made a good start in getting these pipe runs through the first floor joist. So what we've got here is we've got our hot return, balanced cold, flow and returns to upstairs and downstairs, and we're going to be notching the top of the joist. So we're going to try to utilise the pipe bender as much as possible because that's going to help increase the flow rate. The downstairs heating zone is particularly large, so we're going to try and make sure we use as little 90-degree press fittings as possible. So we're also trying to utilise the old existing notches where we can, but a lot of these we've had to make a bit wider, so when we get our insulation on, we've got enough space to actually secure it and put it on between the notches. The most important thing really is to keep the balanced cold separate from the others so we don't get any residual heat spread into it. So that is this single one here. So we're going to be using press fittings. It's a listed building, so we're not really allowed to be using the blowtorch. It's been requested that we don't. And what we're trying to do is, like I say, try and use as little as possible. We've just got some couplings on here, and then we've got some S-bends just to get us around, just keeping it looking really neat, and also maintaining as best flow rate as we possibly can. So Bailey's already started to felt up around these pipes, so it's a really good idea to do this, so it just stops any pipe banging, obviously insulates between the two as well. We won't be nailing the pipes down at this stage because we're using a press fit gun. The main disadvantage of that is it's quite hard to get in and to pressure fit in, so we need to be able to sort of lift the pipework up to get the gun on. And also when you're using the press fit gun, you really need to forward think. So you might press a couple of fittings, realise that you can't then access your previous work to get the gun in. So you really need to forward think when you're using it. So this is the first floor. So up here you can see how long these runs are. We're running all the way through there, coming through this landing section here, and then we've got a long run all the way to the end there. So this is going to be almost like our manifold pipework. So from these 7 runs, we're going to be branching off to everything upstairs and as much as we possibly can downstairs. Up on this floor, we've got 3 bathrooms going in, as well as I think about sort of 12 radiators. So it's quite difficult in terms of the pipe bends and runs we need to take. So we need to get a lot of these joists notched out, and there's a lot of S-bends and offsets and stuff to be pulling. So it's actually quite an enjoyable job though. I enjoy doing pipe runs like this, especially when it's all in copper, and you can see just how much of a difference it makes actually running it in copper. If you did all this in plastic, it would look absolutely pants. So what we'll do now is we'll crack on, continue with the runs, and I'll show you some of the work we're going to be doing. Okay, so part of my work this morning is chopping these T's on these risers. So as you can see, I actually just taped them together. So the reason I did this is because we could then make a start pulling our S-bends over here. So what I didn't want to do is get them all crimped up and then realise these pipes aren't quite in the right location. So it was more important to get our S-bends right, and then from here I can still got a bit of wiggle room just so I can twist them into place. So from this section here, I need to continue some notches up to this joist here, and then as you can see it changes level, And then from here I need to bring them up, notch them all the way along the top of this joist, which annoyingly is going to be where the platform is, and then continue running the pipes along there. So although I don't believe there's any bathroom or sinks going in this part of the property, but there is a cloakroom and utility room underneath that. So all 7 pipes have got to go, and I'll make a start on that now. Okay, so the first thing I've done over on this side is start notching out for all the pipes. So again, we've got 7 pipes coming through, so there's quite a lot of notches. I've tried staying in line where the previous notches were, just so we're not destroying too much of the joists. You're allowed 1/8 on these joists, I believe. They're really deep though, so we ain't got any problems with that. So my advice with cutting notches is, if you use a skill saw, set your depth. So for 22mm pipe, I normally set it just below 30. That normally gives it enough for the pipe and a nail clip, and also you can get away with chucking a bit of insulation on. So what I've done is I've notched it all the way through to here so far. So it's all 22mm. And then I'm just working on connecting up these pipes from the boiler room. So we've actually got a step here. So as you come into this room, there's a step. So I'm having to bend these pipes round, up and over. It's a bit tricky because I've got to pull 90s here, and then I've got to pull little offsets down at the bottom to keep them below joist level there, because we've got quite a few changes of level and flooring. And same for this one here, I've just had to pull it over into the corner. So it's a little bit fiddly, but it's worth doing right. So we'll do it once, do it right. It'll all be fine. So I've got 3 in at the moment. Jump over here to show you from this angle. So what I'm doing is I'm just pressing these T's on here, and I've started working from the middle outwards. The reason I'm doing that is so it doesn't get too awkward pushing the press gun in. So you can see through here, I'm keeping these pipes below these joist levels and then bending them up and over. So the face of that joist used to be a step, but they're going to have to bring the step slightly forward now to cover our pipes. We've got no real way of getting through there any other way. It's got to be bent around like that. So yeah, making good progress. Bailey's working on the other side. He's starting to get more of the S-bends in. So I'll just show you that. So what he's doing is pretty much replicating what he's done here. So again, just keeping it nice and neat. Using the bender as much as we possibly can to keep the flow rate up. So you can see here what good job he's doing. He's not keeping all the bends in one joist either, which is great, so it allows us to chuck the lagging in. And then coming straight through here, so on the left you've got a bathroom going in. So it's quite handy to do this in any plumbing and heating job that you do, to have as straight a run as possible throughout the property, and then you can just branch off, and it just acts like a big manifold system, makes everything a lot easier. And plus, if you've got a problem, it's obviously more accessible than having pipes all around the place. So now what Bailey's on, he's got a similar issue to me. He's got a step up here, so he's having to do pretty similar things that I'm doing, bend the 90s up, offset them down and into the floor. So we're just taking a break. It's Monday on that hottest day of the year. Got our ice drinks out, but we're struggling a bit. Starting to flag a little bit now just after lunch. So yeah, making good progress. I'll carry on getting those bends done, and then hopefully I can start running some straight pipes, which would be nice. Okay, so I've managed to get all the pipework in now. I've cut all the T's and I've bent all the pipework over that joist. So those pipes there on a joist, they're going to be hidden by that step. So what I've done is I've bent each one individually. So you can see here where they come up from the boiler room. And I've had to like offset them into location because the pipes aren't the same pipe centers as the joist space. So yeah, getting there. What I'm going to do now is just get it all felted underneath, just around these parts here, and get it nailed down so it's in position. So because people are going to be stepping over this to work. It's in a bit of a vulnerable area, so let's just go and see what Bailey's been up to. So we're heading towards the end of the day now. It's been absolutely boiling. So Bailey's got a similar situation this side, so although it's a little bit more awkward. So here there would have been a step going up into this bedroom. So what we're having to do is bring the pipes on the face of the step, and then this should all get covered here. So there should be 2 steps here, and then we've notched the top of the joist to bring them over. Okay, so I've just got the pipes through the threshold nailed and felt in. So the good thing really with the nails as well is it separates the 2 pipes you've got in the notch here, so you know they're not going to be touching. So I wrap the felt in like a figure of 8 and then get it nailed down. Okay, so it's day 2 now, and I'm just finishing off the main straight runs to my side of the property. Bailey's doing the same on his side. Once we've done that, we can start looking at getting our rough first fixing for our rad position. So we'll be using the wall ravens to secure all of that. So far it's gone really well. Really happy with the progress we've made. It's only on day 2 now. We've pretty much done the full length of the property. It's the hottest day of the year today, so hopefully you guys are keeping cool. I can't open the windows in here, so a bit of a nightmare, but anyway, let's get cracking on. Okay, so I've just come over to Bailey's side now to give him a hand finishing off. So everything's pretty much there now. We've only used 1 set of elbows, which is on this awkward bit here to get over this step. Everything else has been pulled in bends. So Bailey's been pulling double S bends like they're going out of fashion. He's pretty much mastered that there. So he's had to come across on the left because we've got joists overlapping and we can't chop off or notch the end of the joist. So this is the other end of the property. So we've got our services and supplies to everywhere now that requires it. So we've got a bathroom underneath there, and we can just start branching off for all the radiators and stuff. So there are still some very awkward pipe runs to do. We've got a few on the ground floor, like the cloakroom and toilet, where we can't access it from above. But once we get the final plans all sorted, we will make a decision on what we're going to do. So we're trying to disturb this property as little as possible, but obviously you can't put a full plumbing and heating system without some sacrifices. But yeah, it's all in, all looking great. Sad thing is we're going to have to lag it all, which is absolute bloody ridiculous. So I'm not a fan of that part L crap, but there you go. So thanks for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, and hopefully catch you on the next one.